Now it begins. Ich bin Herr Dougan.
Hello, citizens of Gotham. I'm Batman. Actually not. Hey, Gizkins. Dougan here. And welcome back to Talkie Tuesday. Today I'm running around in Crysis 3, and I'm using the sweaty fat chick shotgun loadout. Also referred to as the default shotgun loadout itself there, but I don't quite get as many beatdowns as sweaty fat chick does. And I know obviously my skill set isn't as impressive as his, however, I'm doing Crysis 3. Which I did promise I'd do on the last Talkie Tuesday where we're looking at the Black Parade. However, I would obviously like to go over a couple of head nods. One of them obviously being is ISEXX. I can't pronounce it, all of it. But there's a couple of people I want to give shout outs to. So consider them now shouted out. The name should be on the screen, perhaps on my face, back here. And I shall obviously give him a head on, because obviously they've been interacting with me myself, obviously after I've given them a hey, thanks for following, all that kind of usual jazz. And welcome to the show. Does that make sense? No? Nah. I am, obviously, as I said, running around in Crysis 3, and as I mentioned on Twitter, almost on the first night I managed to Guardians. Woo! On the first night I managed to clock up to about rank level 7. Now obviously I will admit that obviously part of that bump up, if you will, is part and parcel with the Predator Pack Hunter Edition thingy-bob that we managed to get because we pre-ordered it. And as such I think it preloaded my account with like up to level 5 in XP automatically. So I logged in, it kept the code working. Congratulations, welcome to level 5! So that's what I got up to. I am enjoying the game quite a lot. There are a few niggles I have. I think part of it comes down to the collecting of dog tags, which is obviously what you can sometimes see jiggling with there. No, I'm not serving the armed forces, but I got gifted them as a birthday gift and I haven't taken them off as yet. However, I think the two salient bits I would like to highlight with regards to Crysis 3, more specifically if we can tweak Crysis 3, we can make it the next COD killer. I know this is quite a bold statement to make, but I do think that COD's time is now ready to come to a close. As I mentioned on a previous video, Call of Duty has been coming up to its 10-year stint so far, and all the while, the amount of updates you actually see from it, it's the same game again and again and again. Obviously, I will strip out COD 1, COD 2, and COD 3 out of that equation so far, because they are like precursors to COD 4. Sorry, it shows. COD 4 is meant all spiral outwards. But I shall remind people that Call of Duty 4 used the Quake 4 engine, and whilst it looked graphically very nice, technically it was only still running on DirectX 9. Black Ops 10, Black Ops 2, technically is only up to DirectX 10, that's all the 2 and the 10 mixed up there. So I would like to see when COD 4, COD 9, COD 10, whatever number we're going to get to now, Modern Warfare 4 comes out, I do want to see an improvement with regards to the engine as I die again, as I try to attack a pinger. Duh! Pingers themselves reasonably well balanced. I think the one thing you've got to remember is obviously you can actually jump on top of them and strip the guy out. That's one thing that people often tend to overlook, and yes, I am trying to kill someone with my little pistol. Pew! And the two niggles I have with Crysis 3 thus far, and don't worry, I'm liking the game as a whole. Campaign, I'm up to like about campaign mission number 7. I've just literally gone underground, so I need to finish my live streaming of that at some point. The niggle I have obviously with Crysis 3, and I do appreciate doing all of this for a whole 4 minutes, I haven't actually got to my point, is the equal team balance. You can quite easily get a case where a whole heap of really good players on one side, and they then just steamroll over the opposition, and obviously as a result of that you get people leaving, okay? And unfortunately the only solution the game currently offers to this is to obviously allow people to leave. It'll encourage new people to join into the side that's on a loss, obviously if it makes sense, obviously otherwise you end up with even more disbalanced teams. And it gives a public notification in-game saying that the team swap function is now available. You know, teams are balanced, team swap function is now available. You're never going to get people to swap it just on the fly. And there's a rationale why I'm going to go for this. It goes back to, in my mind, a couple of years ago, there was a trouble with gentlemen aiming on urinals in a Swedish airport. And so rather than put up a massive sign saying, please stand closer or make sure you're aiming at the hole, they did something quite ingenious, and they painted a little fly onto the urinal. Now, this might not be awe-inspiring, I won't deny that, but the simple aspect of having this fly in the urinal, so obviously, you know, if someone has really good vision, they'll instantly see it's painted on. But 9 times out of 10, the guys would aim to try and hit the fly. And then obviously they would realise, oh, it's painted on, it's not moving, or conversely, you know, a fly stuck to the urinal. I think that would be quite a disgusting idea. They think they actually stuck a fly to it. Just imagine it being this little, I need out! No, it was painted on. And rather than go to the actual effort of making a conscious sign saying, please aim for the urinal, which I digress, obviously, just saying a little bit hard thinking. Obviously, you've got to say aim for the urinal, and that guy just managed to shoot me out of nowhere. The subconscious factor behind it is because you're aiming for something, it got in. The message was received, but it didn't have to be overt in nature. It was more covert. And this is obviously why I think obviously they can tweak it with regards to equal team balance. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do it. The method you tend to see obviously with regards to Team Fortress 2, and obviously with Counter-Strike is you just get swapped. Period. Okay, and I know Counter-Strike had a plugin using manuscriptings, where essentially it would weigh up how well a team member is doing versus the other team member, and then actively swap them for like the least scoring on the opposite team. There, that was a very active and aggressive, and people often disliked it. They didn't, you know, they wanted to play with their friends. Respect, okay. I think more along the lines they wanted to try and go to the opposite team there. But the way that what I'm going to put forward is my suggestion to fix equal team balancing in Crysis 3. And like with any other game which uses XP, you know, you've got to gain a point, so to speak, to progress, okay, is make a notification saying, if you swap now, if your team loses, you'll still get the points that you would have won. So, whatever the end game bonus is, because you swap teams, because you were a good sportsman, you saw the opposite team was losing people, you swapped over, yes, the end game may have been a loss, okay, but when you look at the statistics and the XP, we won't count that as a win or a fail, we'll just count it as a game played, okay, and we'll still count you the XP as if you've been on the winning team. Now that in my mind would encourage good sportsmanship, and thus would negate the aspect of many people, you know, abusing and making use of glitches within the game. That being said, I haven't found many thus far. I know Sweaty Fat Chick found one where he was actually underground, you know, actually because he was just at the wrong point near the drop pod, and obviously he then went prone, walked under, proned under like a bush area, and then he then fell through the map. Now, the important part obviously was that EA learned from the mistakes with regards to Battlefield 3, obviously in the alpha. Sit down, boy. Yes! Sorry, that was just pistol whip something. Where you could actually have people go under the map and obviously you're going to start shooting. As soon as you went below the actual surface of the floor, you're out of the battle zone. So, it's not a game-breaking mechanic. It's a nuisance glitch, but it's not game-breaking. So that's obviously where they've learned that lesson there. So there's not many glitches there. But I think if we encourage good sportsmanship on a whole, it'll encourage better plays in the long run. And obviously, dare I say, later down the line when we have Crysis 4, I'm going to make a prediction. I haven't obviously finished the campaign yet, but I do predict there's going to be a Crysis 4. Okay, I know obviously we had people talking about it's going to be just a trilogy and they're going to stop. I would obviously draw your attention to obviously Halo 1, 2, 3. That was a trilogy, and they've now done 4, and they've got planned 5 and 6. Okay, so Halo has got bypassed the trilogy route. Likewise, Assassin's Creed, we've just had the announcement that they're going to be doing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And in this case, we're actually playing Edward Kenway, who is the father of Haytham Kenway, who himself would be the father of Connor. Or Ramato Khan, or whatever that stupid guy's name is, I can't pronounce half that shit. But we will be playing Connor's grandfather. Okay, obviously this is only evident when we actually read the book that came out with Assassin's Creed 3. We actually discovered that Haytham's father insists on getting him weapon trained, and it's only by circumstances of what was later become the Grand Master Templar in England, and then obviously promotes Haytham Kenway up to Grandmaster in the new world. Because of his actions, he took Haven out of the Assassin's story arc and put him into the Templar story arc. So that's how it came to be. So it does seem to be that trilogies no longer hold their merit anymore. I'm also curious how they're going to actually roll Assassin's Creed 4 into the story arc thus far. I know some people just said, forget the animus, just go straight into the story to make it all pirates. I think part of how it worked as a charm, it required the animus to tell the story. And then obviously when you're out in the real world, you actually learn other things. That's just my musings. I think that's how I'd like to fix Crysis 3's equal team balance. Unlike with any other game out there that uses XP on a team orientation. But I've rambled on long enough. I'm Dougan. The game is about over. Ciao for now. Pew 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 pew.
Dougan.